Hey guys, it's Tarkhan back with another video here on Manifestation Lab. Thanks for tuning in. I have a comment. It's a very quick question that somebody sent. And then there's another comment I'm going to follow up with, which I think ties into a little bit into the first comment and the question that this viewer had. So this is from Ash. What if you feel good to finally reach out? I guess good enough to finally reach out. Maybe to plant a seed. Or is that just trying to take over the universe? This is, of course, regarding a specific person. Ash is trying to manifest a specific person. So I like taking over the universe. You are the universe, so there's no reason to take anything over. I want to say, and of course, the title of this video is, should I reach out or not? It's a good question, and it's a question I get a lot. The question is, of course, comes from a place of, I think, very often, more often than not, and it may not necessarily be the case with Ash here, but it may be the case that there's still a little bit of a need to move forward the process, right? In other words, maybe to plant a seed, right? Because the first part of the question is, what if I feel good enough to reach out? And I want to address that specifically because you should reach out if you feel good enough, meaning that if you feel calm and centered, okay? If you feel there's no need for you to change anything or do anything. But most importantly, Ash, and anybody watching this wondering the same thing, is that you can reach out if you don't have any expectations about it, okay? This is very important because if you're reaching out to, quote, plant a seed. And the second part of your question tells me that there's a little bit of a sense of urgency going on with you still here. Okay. Now you're feeling good. So you've kind of grounded yourself. You've centered yourself, right? And you feel good, and maybe you're doing the things that are recommended, right? You're either doing your visualization and then letting go. You're doing your, your scening and letting go. You're scripting and letting go. You're meditating and feeling better. You're more involved with yourself and in your life. You're having fun even without this person in your life. You're not sitting around all day long thinking about them, wondering when they're going to get in touch with you, wondering when it's finally going to happen. All those things, of course, that's going to, help you to get grounded. All right. Help you to feel centered and not think about them so much, because that's kind of what manifesting is about. Whether you're manifesting a specific person or money or whatever it is. Okay. You need to be able to extract yourself from the situation enough to allow the universe to bring things together for you. Get out of your own way. Right. So the idea is that if you've done all that stuff and you feel centered and you feel good, and you feel calm about the situation, and the thought pops into your head that, hey, maybe I should send them a text message just to say, hey, how's it going? Just to see how they're doing. Or maybe I was thinking about them, or I passed a place that we used to go together. Maybe I'll mention something that they might find interesting that I saw that somehow relates to their interests, or, and just kind of go, hey, how's it going? I was thinking about you today. I saw this thing. Do you remember when we did that? Anyway, I hope you're doing okay. And then you just kind of go about your day. Okay. In other words, if you are doing it and then sitting around going, are they going to text me back? Why haven't they texted me back yet? And now you're back in that loop, right? Now you're back in that kind of mindset of, I need to hear from them. So I planted the seed because it's not happening fast enough. The universe is not moving fast enough. I need them in my life now. I need their validation. I need them to get in touch with me. I need to somehow reach out because it's not happening quick enough. Maybe the universe has forgotten about me. Maybe I'm not doing things right. I need to move things along. I need to hurry it along. It needs to happen now. It needs to happen quicker. That's what the whole planting a seed thing tells me, okay? It tells me that you're kind of still a little bit in that place of trying to mess with the process, okay? Now, if you are, like I said, it's okay to reach out to them if you're doing it without expectation. And now that's a tall order, but if you've been doing your centering, if you've really been going about it for a while and you really feel like, I don't need them, I'm happy in myself, I don't need any validation from them or from anybody. I'm really just reaching out to say hello, to tell them I'm thinking of them, and to see how they're doing. But I don't expect any response. And if I don't get any response, that's okay. I'm not going to melt into a puddle of pity and worry. I'm not going to sit around and bite my nails and think, oh my God, did I mess up? Oh my God, they don't care about me anymore. It's never going to happen. That's what you want to avoid. Okay. So be careful. You really have to, I can't tell you what to do. This is the part where, what I've been talking about all this time on my channel, is really getting down to learning to read your own inner space. Okay. Your mindset. All right. You need to be able to get in touch with yourself. And that really, I think when you meditate and when you get involved with things that you love, when you learn to pay attention to your thoughts throughout the day. And I say this a lot in my coaching to people. Okay. We're hammering this point home. Why they're hammering. I say this a lot in my coaching, that it's important to learn your inner guidance system, okay? Because really, you have it. We're all born with it. It's an instinct, but we've been trained out of paying attention to it. We've been trained out of, really looking at our feelings and dealing with our feelings. I mean, in our culture, especially in our Western culture and with our therapy culture, the idea is to just take those pills or self-medicate or do these things to kind of avoid feeling a certain way. But the feeling a certain way, even if it's a negative feeling, is telling you something. And it is a direct line of communication from the universe, from your inner self, your higher self. It's all the same thing. God, if you want to call it that, okay? It's all the same thing. Letting you know that's a part of yourself that's the larger spiritual part of yourself that has a broader perspective than your ego monkey self that is just concerned about what it wants and what it doesn't want and what it's worried about and what's going on out here, okay? Your higher self, the universe, has a broader perspective. It knows how to get you to where you want to be. So it's always guiding you. It's guiding you by letting you have certain feelings and emotional responses to certain specific thoughts you're having. So if you're worried about things, you feel bad. And the feeling bad is a direct communication from your higher self saying, hey, this line of thinking is turning you away from what you want. So switch up your thinking right now. And so you do a little game with yourself. You reach for better feeling thoughts. And when you feel that relief or even elation, then you know you're on the right track again. That's, again, a communication from your inner being. So you need to be able to learn this language, okay? And pay attention throughout the day to how you're feeling in response to certain thoughts or certain decisions that you're facing, including the decision to contact your specific person, okay? That's very important. So ask yourself, all right? You can ask me, and I can give you this type of guidance and advice, but really sit down, take a few deep breaths and ask yourself, why do I want to contact them? What do I expect out of contacting them? And I can tell you as a third party here, or somebody with a more objective perspective on your situation, that second line of your question may be to plant a seed. You're kind of asking me for permission to interfere a little bit, right? To be like, I'm sensing there's this worry going on. All right. So I would say if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling this worry and you're thinking, I'm going to contact them because then I'll hear back from them and it'll be the quicker, we'll get together quicker, because I need it to happen now. Then I would say my advice would be, don't do it. Okay. Do it only really when you're so centered, when you're so calm that you're not going to melt into a puddle of pity and worry if you don't hear back from them, okay? Because it's possible. And there's any number of reasons why you wouldn't hear back from them. They're busy, they lost their phone, whatever is going on. They're just having a bad day, okay? But you're going to sit around and go, it's all about me. What's happening? Oh no, what have I done? And now you're back in that worrying loop and you want to avoid that, okay? So I would say if the question that follows the question of should I finally reach out, again, that word finally also indicates a little bit of desperation, right? A little bit of impatience, a little bit of frustration. Finally, can I finally reach out? Will something finally happen now? I can sense that this is not a moment for you to reach out, okay? So you really want to get to the point where It's fine if you reach out and you don't hear back from them, and great if you do. But if you don't hear back from them, it's okay. You're loving yourself. You're about your life. You're about doing the things that you love. You're hanging out with your friends. You're getting involved with yourself. You're feeling good about yourself. So it doesn't matter whether they contact you or not. And maybe they will eventually. Maybe they won't. Okay. That's the place you want to be in if you're thinking about reaching out to your specific person. And that may not be the answer that you're looking for. But I'll tell you, it's happened to me. It's happened to the best of us, that we try to push things along and we're doing it from a place of being impatient and a little frustrated and a little desperate. It tends to backfire. Okay. So don't do that to yourself. Don't play Russian roulette with this stuff. Okay. And I know the urge is to, I hope Tarkan says I can contact them. You can contact them if you want. You don't have to take my advice. But honestly, and from experience, personal experience, and having watched others and having worked with others and coached them, I would say the thing for you to do is to take care of that part that's going, maybe I should plant a seed. Maybe I can finally reach out. Okay. You want to do more of the work on centering yourself and getting yourself calm about the situation and really focusing on yourself. Okay. And then you can revisit the question after a while. But again, pay attention to how you feel. The universe will let you know through your feelings. If you ask yourself the question, should I finally reach out to them? You might feel a little tension, right? You might feel a little bit of butterflies and stomach. There is an indication there from the universe going, not now. You haven't really centered yourself. You haven't aligned yourself with it yet. Okay. So it's a very subtle thing to do, guys. And I know it's not always easy to hear that. But the more you practice this stuff, the more you practice paying attention to yourself throughout the course of your day, the more quickly you learn to read yourself and to read those messages from the universe. And then it'll be easy to manifest because you won't need to ask people like me so often about these things. Okay. You'll know, I see. It's like learning a new language or learning an instrument. All right. Your fingers are going to get used to the guitar or the piano after a while. You practice. It hurts a little bit at first, a little frustrating at first, and maybe be a little slow going at first. But the more you do it, and if you practice and stick to it, you'll become an expert at this stuff. You will. You'll be able to read your emotions. You'll be able to read those nudges from the universe, okay? Because if there's a nudge from the universe that says, hey, now is the time for you to reach out. Now is the time for you to take a step towards this. Now we've arranged all this for you and you've centered yourself enough. It'll feel natural. It won't feel, oh my goodness, should I? Right? It'll feel, oh, you know what? I should reach out to them. I should say hello, see how they're doing. Let them know I'm thinking of them. And maybe try to put a smile on their face without having any expectation of anything in return from them. That means unconditionally. That means reaching out to them unconditionally. All right. That's very important. And if you can do that, if you ask yourself the question of should I contact them, and then you feel completely calm about it, or it's just a very matter-of-fact thought that comes into your head, the way that drinking a glass of water when you're thirsty comes into your head, right? It's very matter of fact. Oh, I'm thirsty. I'm going to drink a glass of water. You don't have to think about it too much. You don't have to debate it in your mind. If there's any of that going on, even a little bit of doubt, even enough doubt to write a question to Tarkan on his YouTube channel, then there's a part of you inside that also understands this is not the time to do it. Okay. You still have a little bit of that urgency going on. Right? That need to meddle with the process. And my advice would be don't do it right now. Okay? And don't think that if you don't, that it's going to slow things down and it's never going to happen. That's the part you want to work out. The part of you that is scared that if you don't interfere in the process, nothing's ever going to happen, because that's your resistance showing itself right there. And thank goodness it's showing itself. It's there for you to see it so that you can work beyond it. All right. So that you can go, oh, I see where the stumbling block is. I see where I have a limiting belief, because without that, you wouldn't have any idea. You wouldn't have a map or a compass to go by. Okay. So learn to pay attention to those things. And with time, you'll get better at it, and it'll be so much easier to manifest. It'll just be like breathing air and drinking water. You'll see. Thanks for that, Ash. I hope that answered your question. Now, here's a great comment from Anna. It's a little bit longer, but this kind of ties into what I was just talking about and telling Ash, because Anna kind of really hit it on the head, right? Even though she's telling me that I hit it on the head. So Anna says, I love to learn about manifesting, but I saw movement in my life once I started to take little steps to feel really good about myself. Notice little steps, right? Don't try to make huge leaps right away. Take baby steps. It's okay. The specific person manifesting is 100% true. It is. But you can't get there if you're only focusing on how to get your specific person. You see, this is what I was just saying. If you're contacting them or thinking about contacting them only because you think it's going to make them come back faster, now you're kind of barking up the wrong tree here, right? You can't get there if you're only focusing on how to get them. That's lack and not trusting yourself. Absolutely. Your SP or the universe. In other words, not trusting yourself, not trusting them, or the universe. I like that part where she says that's also not trusting your specific person. Because there has to be a sense of trust in that, yes, there's that version of them that loves you, okay? You have to be able to have that trust towards them as well. I was mad at the way my SP treated me in the past. But because of all the knowledge I had about law of attraction, I didn't want to give into that feeling. But sometimes it is perfectly fine to feel mad or whatever if someone treated you badly. I absolutely agree. You need to be able to feel that stuff, even if it's just for a few moments or a few minutes, okay? Even though you attracted it, it's okay to feel totally disappointed and then move forward. That's very important. Yes, it's important to feel your feelings, okay? But again, I want to add to this that feeling your feelings, even if they're negative feelings, I think all too often in law of attraction practice, we have this misunderstanding that we must never feel bad. We must never feel disappointment. We must never feel angry or react angrily to something or someone. We must always be positive and happy. Good luck with that. Have you ever seen those people that have that forced smile? Hi, right? You kind of want to run away from them. There's something not right there. But you're a human being. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. You're supposed to feel this range of emotions. And like I said, the emotions, even the negative ones, are there to tell you something. All right? Don't be afraid of them. Don't try to suppress them. But here's the important part of what Anna added there. And then move forward. In other words, if your habit has been to worry about something all day long, all night long, you're losing sleep, now you're feeling too much of that. You're sinking into it. You're kind of bathing in that negative feeling and the worry feeling and the anxious feelings. You want to be able to feel them to their fullest and then let them go. Understand what they're there for, that they're there to serve you. They're there to communicate with you. And then move on, okay? Then reach for a better feeling thought. Try to soothe yourself with your self-talk, okay? Maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. All right? Maybe I'm just imagining things, all right? I'm adding 2 and 2 and coming up with 6, okay? I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. It's going to be okay. Things have worked out for me before. You see, you talk to yourself a little bit. You become your own coach in a way, okay? You don't want to stay on that rung of that emotional ladder, all right? But you don't want to try to chase the feeling away either. If you are feeling disappointed, frustrated, feel that to its fullest. You know, I always say this, and somebody laughed. I said this in another video. Give yourself a session of worrying. All right, give yourself 5 or 10 minutes a day, and just let all the bad feelings come to you, and then say, that's enough now for today. Boom, gone. All right? So you get it out of your system, okay? And try to understand, well, what are these negative emotions in response to? They're always in response to something I'm thinking or a belief that I'm holding on to that doesn't serve me, right? Maybe it served me at one point in my life, but it no longer does now because I've expanded. I've grown as a person. I've matured. I've learned things. I'm not that same person, but I still have this limiting belief bouncing around. Maybe it's I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of having what I want. Relationships are complicated and difficult. Love hurts, right? All this stuff that we think is so common, innocuous, that we hear all in songs and in books and our whole lives, but we never think about it. We just accept it as truth. But is it, right? So use the negative emotions, yeah, but don't bathe in them, okay? And don't think that if you're worrying that you're solving anything. You're not, okay? But give yourself the moment, like Anna says, give yourself the chance to feel those emotions and then move past them, all right? She continues, if you feel like you want to control or change somebody, You still have a lot of awareness about the undesired situation. Yes, right? That's the thing. And this goes back to Ash's question. You're trying to kind of control the situation a little bit. All right. So you still have a lot of resistance. You have a lot of awareness of what you don't want. What's happening in terms of, well, they're not in my life. I don't want that. You're thinking about that more than you are thinking about conjuring the feeling of having that already, right? Having them in your life already. That's what you want to practice. You want to practice the feeling of having them in your life already. Again, it might feel like a tall order when you're not seeing it in the external world, but the external world is just a reflection of what you're focusing on. So there you go. It's a little loop. It's a little feedback loop. Okay. If you're worried about them not being there all the time, that's all you're going to see reflected is them not being there. All right. And then you start to feel, I have to do things. I got to speed up the process. I got to meddle with it. I got to text them and see what comes back. Right. I got to plant seeds in their head, try to change them. I got to influence them. Right. This is what you want to kind of move away from. And you probably will not succeed very easily, right? So in other words, if you feel like you want to control or change someone, you will probably not succeed very easily. I would say definitely not. Really, my friends, she says, the key is to work on yourself and your own happiness. Absolutely. And that's what I've been saying on this channel and all my videos and to my clients, for a while now. And know that anything can happen. Yes, this is not to say give up hope. This is the way forward. Okay, what we're describing here. It's anything can happen. There's no doubt about that. But be okay with yourself first. All right, that's key. That's another key, is to learn to be okay with yourself so that you don't feel you need somebody else to validate you, because when it comes down to it, that's what a lot of this is about. Do you really love the person, or do you just want their validation to feel good about yourself? And now your feeling good about yourself is dependent on other people's actions, and that's always going to make life difficult for you. You need to learn to be okay with yourself and to approve of yourself, and to have that be enough. And you'll see that once you do that, once you practice that and really get it down, people will suddenly treat you so much better. You will hear from your specific person. You'll also have all kinds of other people flirting with you, hitting on you, wanting to be in your presence, wanting some of your pixie dust coming on that, falling on them. I mean, that's what happens. People will start coming out of the wall. Your dance card will be filling up. You don't even know where your head is at. I've had it happen. I've seen it happen. It happens every time because people think that we coaches and teachers are trying to trick them, right? They think that we're saying, just be okay with yourself. And that's like our way of saying, oh, you'll never get the specific person. Just learn to be okay with yourself. You tricked me, law of attraction coach. No, we're not trying to trick you. We're trying to show you what the easy way to do this is, what the quick, efficient way to do this is, right? We want to teach you the proper method and technique, and loving yourself and accepting yourself above all else, and to say, I don't need other people's approval to be okay with myself. I don't need their validation to be okay with myself, is what gets you their validation. That's what gets you their approval, because they see you now as a strong, centered person, a self-loving, self-appreciating person. Everybody wants to be around somebody like that, including your specific person, you see. It makes life so much easier. Thanks, Tarkan. And yes, we'll watch your videos while living my life. Thank you, Anna, so much for that comment. And thank you, Ash, also for your question. So I hope that this video has served you and to answer your question, okay, and that you have something to think about. Anyone watching this who had similar concerns and questions, all right? Thank you all for watching. If you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe, hit like, and comment if you want. The more of that you do, like, subscribe, and all that, the more attention my channel gets, because YouTube has this thing, right? Algorithm. If you share the video, if you know people that you think might benefit from this, please share the video. And other than that, if you're interested in some coaching from me, you can find the information down below. If you want to leave me a little tip for these videos, there's also a couple links down there for PayPal and Cash App. You can leave me a little tip for that. And anyone who's been doing that, thank you so much for your contributions. They're always appreciated. So thanks again for watching. I'm Tarkan. Until next time, happy manifesting, and bye-bye.